Hello and welcome to my second attempt in the rain here at Spa. You join us for qualifying for the second, well, it's my second try, but I think it's the third race of the day. You get about seven tries at this. You can keep trying until you get a decent result, or until you get the amount of points that you wish for. So we're heading out on the qualifying lap, and you can see I've got a couple of cars in front of me, so I'm trying to find myself a bit of space. Don't want people too close, because if they make an accident in front of you or mess up, it's gonna hamper your qualifying lap. So really I want to be dropping back a little bit, as I'm doing, trying to find myself some space on this out lap. I've got plenty of space behind me at the moment, so I can afford to drop a bit further back here. I've got the rest of the lap to do. Obviously I don't want to drop too far back now, because then I might need to drop back again later, maybe even get past these guys on the out lap. If I drop too far back now and then have to do it again, I'm going to drop into the path of 4, and then I've got a pressure from behind. So it's all about finding the optimum kind of bit of track to yourself, not too close, not too far away from other people. I mean, you may get a bit of slipstream if you're maybe a couple of seconds back. As this one driver's got a half a second penalty, so I could use that as a chance of getting past him as he goes wide. So all these things are going through your mind, while at the same time trying to keep it on the track in this wet weather. He goes wide again there. So the penalty man I've passed. I've only now got one person ahead of me, and I'm probably really a little bit too close. As this penalty guy, the penalty tries to come back as well. Now what's the point of that? What is the point of being in front of somebody when you're going to be serving a penalty? Let's mess that idea up. I'm in wets. The two tyre choices are wet or intermediates. Both, in my experience, give about the similar lap time, but the wets, again in my experience, seem to last longer, so you can go further into the race on them. There is no requirement to pit, and in my first race I found that the fuel was not an issue at all. So the only requirement to pit is if you deem it necessary in the race. So there's going to be no penalties at the end for those who didn't. Right, so here we come to start my lap, and I'm right with this guy, Stacy. Maybe it isn't a guy. Stacy from Germany. Now he's going to have half a second penalty up at the top on Kemmel Straight after Eau Rouge and Radion, as we see someone sliding around that first corner. So can I stick with him up Eau Rouge and get past him to stop him from compromising my race qualifying effort? Not a bad time for an outlap, 2:52. Not a bad time for an outlap when you're trying to just warm those tyres up as best you can in this cold, wet weather. And qualifying, if you didn't see that, as he puts me off my race there, I was obviously gaining him after his penalty and got put off by him, so now I'm going to have to try again. That lap's ruined now. So I'll let this guy go. The Green Templar, who was in the first race with me as well. I think he started last in the first race, but yeah, the first race, if you haven't watched it yet, I've got a pole position, so you can click on my channels and my playlist and go and watch my first attempt. So pole position time in the last race was a 1:42.6, if I remember correctly. I had two good laps, a 1:43 and then the 1:42.6 to give me pole. And then I messed up the fourth lap. Now I've already messed up this second lap, so I'm only going to have two more goes, two more bites at the cherry, as it were. So just see this lap out to its end, and then hopefully two full-on laps that'll give me a good attempt at being somewhere near the front of the grid for the race. Now I could let this guy go past. I'm not quite sure why I'm not at this stage, because this lap isn't counting for me. Or maybe I just want to bank a lap in. I don't know that either. Maybe I just want to get this lap over in case my next 2 laps are even worse again. So we'll finish this lap off and then see what happens in the next one. So we know it's not going to be a great lap time. Got a banker of 2:49. That puts me at this moment in time 4th. Obviously I can go faster. A lot of other people I expect will go faster too. As the guy behind me, Mackie, he's now got potentially pole position. Plenty of people going faster, as I knew they would with that lap time. I've got to try and hope that this next lap is quicker. So I'm still amongst traffic, which isn't going to help. But it does compromise me a little bit. I mean, it helps maybe down here, the slipstream effect, as that purple sector shows, but it's going to compromise me through every single corner. You know, I can't brake too late for fear of running into him. I can't brake too early for fear of having some guy run up behind me. As you can see, I let him go this time. Mackie, I could tell he was quite clearly faster than me, and even with my own racing line, he managed to get past, and I didn't want to fight him. Didn't want to fight him at all, so that's given me a bit of a breather now, a bit of clear space. But I'd say it would have cost me slightly. So what am I going to get? And if I can get anywhere near yesterday's qualifying time, that would be fantastic. Can't see what pole position time currently stands at, but he's obviously going faster than I am. Potentially poles out the window. As we come to the lowest part of the track, Curve Paul Frere, which, if you were watching yesterday, was where my race got ruined on lap 6 after having a really good start from pole. Just 3 corners in one equivalent of a lap. Messed up, went off, ruined my whole race. So I'm having to try again, try and get further up the field in the race, if not even in the qualifying. And I've caught up with these guys again. So what's me crossing the lap time going to be this time for lap 3? And it's going to be 2:44 dead, which isn't great. I can do better, but it's a good standard time. It's put me 4th, potentially 4th on the grid for tomorrow's race, or the race at the end of the qualifying, should I say. It's not actually tomorrow, but in the habit of saying tomorrow, obviously from all the Formula 1 races you watch, the qualifying's on the day prior to the race. So can I do better on this 4th lap now that I've got a bit more space? Maybe I'll let them go. We're all probably different, obviously quicker at different parts of the circuit. I gained on them too at the end of the lap, and now they've pulled away at the beginning of it. So not looking at that sector time as we crossed it. I'll have to pay attention as we cross the next one, see if we're going any quicker this time around, or the Green Templar's gone fair too deep into Rivage there. So I'm guessing he's not going to be going faster, as so do I coming out of it. So there we go, that's my 4th lap ruined. We also knew from yesterday that there isn't any room for a 5th lap. There's no time for a 5th lap. So that's my qualifying over with. So currently fourth. How far am I going to drop as the others finish their laps? Let's keep an eye on it. I ran a little bit wide there as well. This doesn't matter, of course, but every minute, every lap, every corner is all practice. Try and keep from happening what happened in my first race. So there we go. Looks like, I'm assuming that P next to Mackie, his number one, is confirmed. Or is that just potential pole at the moment, preliminary pole position? We'll soon know, I hope. The 10 minutes is up, so it's just allowing everyone to finish their laps. I really don't want to hamper this guy coming around in 7th. So if he got any closer, I'd stay out of his way. But he wasn't close enough, so could even have helped him out by giving him a little tow there. All Bandy from Spain. And indeed, whether it was my help or not, he did actually get from 7th to pole. So you're welcome. So starting 5th currently, still a few drivers to finish their laps. 6th now, so starting in 6th. And yeah, that's it. Hello and welcome to the race here in the wet, 6:30 in the morning in the Ardennes Forest of Belgium. The circuit, as you know, is Spa-Francorchamps, and All Bandy, who I helped get into pole position from Spain there. Second is Mackie 8146 from Germany, who held it until that last lap. Le Hardiman from France in third. Fourth place, Muscle Milk KTM from the UK, and behind him the Green Templar from Germany in 5th. Here's me with my 2:44.0 lap time in 6th, and in 7th from Spain, Alexander Sus XD. In 8th, Julian Klossman from the Netherlands, and in 9th place from France, Fred Naldino. Monster Rider 81 in 10th from Germany, and behind him in 11th, Kirakov 23 from Spain. Germany's Scorpion 369 in 12th, and behind him Toffing 97 from Norway. Neverhood 7 from Russia in 14th, and from Germany, Belgium, Audi A2 Belgium in his name gives it away a bit there. Volpeale 1984 in 16th from Italy, and Stacy, I'm assuming Stacy, 17th from Germany. Italy's Pictura Nera in 18th, and that's it. So we must have had 2 drop out, only 18 racers in this race. So we're looking to do better than yesterday's disastrous race result after its promising start. We were running in the top 5 for over half of the race before 3 corners spoilt my entire race, and I end up 14th. So starting from 6th, we've now got to negotiate the end of this bus stop chicane ourselves, which we have done, and now heading up just across the start and the finish line, already a good 9 seconds behind the leaders. So rolling starts, they really spread you out a little bit. which in itself has given me a little bit of space around La Source, as 7th is now a tiny way back as well. So saved around the first corner on this first lap in the wet. Now after yesterday's race, where I ended up pitting for tyres after lap 7, putting the same wets on again, I'm determined now to pit one lap earlier in after, as someone had spun off there, exiting Ardennes, up into 5th. So yeah, I'm going to aim to pit at the end of lap 6. I've got to watch, be careful on lap 6, because that, of course, is where I had my first off in the first race. But if I can hold it together to the end of lap 6, change tyres, put wets on, finish the last 5 races off. Hopefully there's enough space behind me where I won't lose too many places. There's Julian Klussmann there, has a penalty behind me as well. So the top 5 have already pulled slightly away from 6th and the rest of the field, as we head down towards the 2 left-handers of Pouhon. Oh, and the Green Templar was a little bit wide there, lost a bit of his grip, managed to hang on, kept his position in front of me, and he goes wide again there though, so he's struggling already. Move up into 4th. Again, it's so tricky here in the wet. I can't tell you how tricky it is. So I'm not going to complain about any places that are given to me with other people's mistakes. I made, say, 3 huge ones yesterday in first race. So if you can stick it on the track, if you can keep it clean and consistent, you will do well. Now, I did manage to get a couple of laps yesterday in the 2:44s, but there weren't enough of them. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for constant laps in and around the 2:44, 2:45 times. And if I can do that, I know I will have a good race. So we're up into 4th after the first lap, courtesy of a couple of people's mistakes. Had a clean lap, we've had a good lap, and across the line 2:54. Now bear in mind that includes a good 8 seconds before I actually crossed the start finish line in itself. That's a good time, that's a really good time, that. As the Green Templar goes wide again and loses his back end coming through La Source. So there I am, dropping down the hill towards Eau Rouge in 4th. Slight gap back behind me. And we also know that I think Julian Klussmann in 6th had a penalty. We'll get to see that. No, but the Green Templar behind me does. Although I think he only just got that, so he'll be serving that on the next lap. He must have got that coming through Eau Rouge and Ardennes, so he'll serve that in a lap's time. So I'm being pressured from behind. I don't want to let that distract me. If he's going to get past, I will let him. I won't fight him too hard. My main concern now is to have a clean lap, and I'd rather not have a battle with someone like that. He's obviously got the inside line. There's no point trying to fight him. Let him go. He's already been a bit ragged through a couple of corners. There's a good chance I might get other chances to overtake him. My main concern, I want to have 11 clean, consistent laps. Now we're obviously all going to be on different strategies. Some people in the first race didn't pit at all and still won the race, so it can be done. My personal preference is that I'm going to change tyres halfway through. There's 2 choices of tyre, so there's going to be people on all sorts of different strategies. 1 stop, no stop, intermediates, wet, a mixture of when do they stop, which lap do they stop on. So at this moment I'm not going to fight, I'm just going to concentrate solely on my own race. So far isn't doing too badly. We're up a place, we've got a purple lap time at that point, that second sector point, so we're doing well. Bit of a gap to 6th, but behind him there's an even bigger gap to 7th now, so looking on the little blue triangles on the track circuit map in the top right hand corner, so we've got a good bit of space, and boy do we need it if we spin off. But that's going to be, I'll put that out of my mind. I put yesterday's race out of my mind, so how can we do today? Let's have a look as we come to complete lap 2 in a time of 2:45.9, so that's alright. We can get 10 laps like that, I know we'll have a good finish. Now it's after Eau Rouge and Radion that the Green Templar in front of me will have his half a second penalty. It doesn't look like I'm close enough yet to take advantage of that, although obviously it will put me closer to him by the end of the straight. This is really painful, this one, because you really are almost at top speed when you serve it, and you're still wanting to get back up to top speed even before the first corner. It wouldn't be so bad if you were already slowing down for the next corner, but you're not. You're still wanting to get back up to speed before it, so this half a second penalty does cost you upwards towards a second and possibly even more. So far so good. Of course we haven't got to the point where we started making mistakes in the first race. I'll let you know when I do, and you can all keep your fingers crossed for me. But it really is just one lapse of concentration, one wheel that isn't in the right place, a split second of putting your throttle down too soon, anything. Now the top drivers, I looked on the times of them in the S drivers and the A plus drivers, where someone back end just goes dropped a bit there coming out of that corner. They're getting times of 2:32, 2:33, so they're going to be in completely their own races, going a hell of a lot faster, and good luck to them all. The benefit of this is it matches us all with people of around our own skill level, as I said before. So it does mean overtaking is less, but it does mean there's some good battles, so hopefully we'll see. Saw a couple yesterday before I managed to mess up, and hoping there'll be some more in today's race as well. Although currently I find myself in a bit of space on lap 3, so a little bit lonely at the moment, but that will change as mistakes happen and pit stops occur. And what's the third lap time going to be? You can see now 6 is dropped back and 7th isn't even in sight. As we're looking back down that straight, and lap 3, time of 2:44.3, so we've gone better again, and that's it. It's just consistency. In fact, it's a lot better, and I'm thinking it was the same seconds there, but it's not. It's just 1.6 seconds quicker than the last lap, so very good time, and it's all about consistency. As we head out of that in-car camera shot back up to the end of the first sector checkpoint, just an indication of how we've done, and we are faster again. I should have been looking more at that, but because those in-car shots also give you the time gaps between those in front and behind me, so we'll have a look next time we shoot to in-car camera. We'll have a look at those time gaps. But there I'm going around Rivage there. There I am coming out of it. Kept it tidy that time. And now dropping down the hill towards Pouhon. First of 2 consecutive left-handers, fairly fast left-handers. A little lift or tap on the brakes before we enter, and then ease on the throttle on the way out. In fact, it's a little bit more than just a tap on the throttle and ease off, I found. It was 20 mile an hour reduction in speed and dropped down to 4th for Pouhon. Personally, Maybe there are faster ways around it, maybe there's more speed through it you can take, but at my level of skill at the moment, that was it. Now down the bottom of the track, second sector time, and we are, well, we're 400ths up. That's mean about the same. Another consistent lap, and I'll take those every day of the week, and hopefully over the course of the weeks and days and months, those consistent times will get quicker and quicker as I hopefully improve my rating. I was a C driver a couple of Nation Cup races ago, but I did find the competition there just a little bit beyond me at this moment in time, and unfortunately with the results not going my way, I did drop back down to a D rate, as we have another 2:44 lap there, which is good really. It's more competitive. Yes, I can do better in it, so no doubt I might go back up to C hopefully shortly, but it's more my skill level, so it's more, the competition is more manageable. As we head down the hill towards Eau Rouge for the 5th time in the race. This time the livery on the car, as I'm having a quiet moment in the race, I'll tell you, is not my own. I did my own for the last race, but it is a bit time consuming and didn't have time to do one for this race. So the PlayStation ID of this livery, who created this livery, is down below in the description. Go and follow his work if you use his name in the PlayStation forums and on Gran Turismo community. I chose a typically Japanese styled livery from a Japanese Honda NSX. So where are we as we head down to Pouhon? We've got a large gap now behind us to 6th. In fact, 6th place it's not even in sight in that little short straight there. So we've got a good gap behind us, and maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but it looks like we're maybe a bit closer to the Green Templar in 4th. See, look behind up the hill, there's nobody in sight. So we'll have a look at those times if we drop to in-car camera, but certainly a long way back, and that gives me a margin of error should I make any mistakes, but obviously that's not on my mind, as we go 1.4 seconds quicker than my current fastest lap, so that would be an awesome lap time as well, quicker than my qualifying. Although, as we know, if you watched it, that wasn't a clean lap full of traffic, too close to other drivers to get a good clean lap in. But we've had a better start to the race than we did in the first attempt. Well, the experience of the first attempt, where obviously made those errors, so hopefully that'll be helpful to me as well. As Lahardiman has pitted from, well, it must have been from 3rd, because Green Templar was in front of me, and indeed I do have a quicker lap time of 2:43. So Lahardiman is in the pits, but obviously he doesn't have to negotiate the source. So where's he? He's there. He's come out behind me in 5th. So we were close enough. I mean, a pit stop without refueling is about 7-8 second loss in time. Well, obviously I was close to him, but he's now got fresh tyres on. I think it was intermediates he'd put on. I think we saw as he was in there. So he's obviously faster than me because he was further up the track than me. He's now going to be faster than me because he's got fresh tyres on. I mean, all my lap times now are fairly consistently around kind of my best times. So I'm not going to fight him again. I'm going to construct my own race. So if he comes through, which he obviously is because he's already caught me up, I'm going to let him go. Well, I'll keep him behind me as much as possible, obviously, but when it comes, and that didn't last long at all. He got me on the way to Rivage, so that's all right. That's all right. He's on cleaner tyres, and he's obviously got a faster time around this track anyway. As I just get a little distracted, went a little bit deep into that corner, not the optimum racing line there. managed to keep it on the track. Obviously compromised my speed a little bit, so now I've dropped down a little bit, but I say still a long way back to 6th place. So if that's the worst I have, again, I'll take that. Just like to keep it on the track for the next 6.5 laps, 5.5 laps. And we're coming now down to the bottom of the track on lap 6, which exiting the curve Paul Frere was where I had my first off, which lost me about 30 seconds, can you believe it? So we're going to cross the sector time where we was up on lap 6 yesterday. We're not quite up this time after battling with Le Hardiman, but we've kept it clean, so that's the first thing. We've passed the point where we messed up yesterday in the first race, and we're going to pit at the end of this lap. We've already predetermined that, so with such a large gap we are going to be back in 5th as I run a little wide there, so maybe that's an indication that my tyres or the concentration level is going. So into the bus stop, turn 1, but we're not going to bother the second turn in the chicane because we're going to run into the pits. So here we go. And we also know that the Green Templar's gone into pits ahead of me as well, which gives Le Hardiman his 3rd place back. And all things being equal, which in pit stops they usually are, unless he's bothering with fuel. He's got less than me for some reason, which is weird, because maybe just my racing style is more frugal. But certainly he's still got more than enough, more than half of his fuel left, so he shouldn't be fueling. So we're both going to come out in 5th and 6th, as indeed we are. So, back in 4th and 5th as we were before the pit stops. So we won't really know the proper gap until we pass through the first sectors, but there we go. 9.2 seconds after the pit stop, which cost 8. So there we go. So plenty of space. I could even have another one if I wanted. That isn't in the plan. I'm 5 seconds behind the Green Templar. Le Hardiman's up in 3rd, having pitted a lap earlier for intermediates. I believe me and the Green Templar both put wets on. So how are those tyres going to be towards the end of the race? But it is a lonely race at the moment, but that's okay. We're up a place on my starting position, and there's still 5 laps to go. And I'm looking at the blue triangles in front of me on the map. We're all fairly spread out, all got plenty of space. We're all having lonely races at the moment at this part of the race. Six is included in that little equal spacings, but obviously what we know is that 1st and 2nd and 6th haven't pitted. If they're going to, I don't know, but they haven't. I'm watching the blue triangles. Is anybody going to pit on this lap? I'm now looking at the top 8 drivers' names, because sometimes that gives us an indication. It's not always easy. Yes, Mackie has pitted from the lead, and looking at the gaps, I would suspect he'll come out in front of Le Hardiman, but can he even keep the lead from Muscle Milk, who goes through temporarily in the lead as Mackie is in the pits, as does Le Hardiman. Still keeping it clean as we come out. Now Mackie has come back out in the lead, so there we go, but they are going to be all close. Mackie and Musselman will be close together now. So closer, doesn't really affect me. Back in 5th. So 1 and 2 having a nice little battle. 3rd place is on his own, and I believe I'm a bit closer now to the Green Templar. Certainly we're not spaced out on the map, the circuit map icon, as we were before. Now last time we was in car, we saw the gap was about 5.5 seconds. The gap's definitely closer now, and the gap's definitely bigger back to 6th. go. Another improvement in my lap time in the first sector. 2:43.7, my fastest, not the fastest, otherwise it would be purple. As we drop down towards Rivage once more, no distractions whatsoever, so only myself to blame if I make a mistake. So far so good. The 2 lap times on the in and out laps of the pits are about right. You do lose about 20 seconds on your in lap, but you gain about 10 on your out lap, so it's a net 9 or 10 second loss for the pits. As once more we drop down to the lowest part of the circuit and through Fagnay's turn 12. That's turn 13. Dropping down to turn 14, which is Campus, and the actual lowest part of the circuit, as I'm 1.2 seconds up on my fastest time, which is fantastic. That puts me in the 142s if I can keep that up. Coming out of Curve Paul Frere, a place where I've been off many times in practice and qualifying, and indeed the last race. But in 8 times round it this time, we've been consistently good and quick through there. Had some great consistency in our lap times, and at the moment, if we can carry this through the bus stop, as those two come together a little bit. Oh no, I just lost it a little bit in that chicane, so that's going to cost me. We were 1.2 seconds up down in sector 2, and that's cost us. But despite that, we still gained half a second on our fastest lap, so that cost us about 7/10, that little wobble in the bus stop. But we also saw La Hardiman and the Green Temper racing together through the bus stop, so they're in a little battle at the moment as well. So that could help me, because usually when you're battling each other, it's generally slowing your lap times down a bit. So am I able to take advantage of that as we come down the hill towards Eau Rouge for the 9th time, and up and out through Radion onto Kempler Straight. Sorry, I'm mistaken, it's not Kempler, I'm getting mixed up with Le Templar, the Green Templar's name in front of me. It's the Kemmel Straight, as we head and chase down 3rd place and 4th place, who are we're all very close together now. So is there a reason for it? Is La Hardiman struggling on his intermediates? Is the Green Templar, he's obviously gained on him, so let's see what can happen now as we finalise these last 2-3 laps of the race. Come on! Yeah, we can see the Green Templar now. I don't know if he's struggling on his tyres or his concentration's lapsing, but he's just looking for a way past, maybe trying a bit of a different line or braking a different point to try and get past, but it's certainly allow me to catch up, and maybe there'll be opportunities to get past. Oh, and now La Hardiman's gone wide, and the Green Temper's received a second penalty, which tells me that he knocked him there. So that 1 second penalty tells me that the Green Templar actually knocked into La Hardiman, which sent him off the course. As he goes a bit deep into that corner, but not really a way past around the outside there. I'm looking for a better exit anywhere I can. Watching my own brake, trying to keep an eye on my own braking points, while at the same time looking for a way past and not making sure I don't run into him. As he runs a tad wide there, and that's sure enough, so he's struggling for maybe grip, I don't know, but there we go. So he's got a second penalty and he's behind him. La Hardiman's got past him too, which is good. That's justice really, having been knocked off the track by him. So great, we're up into 3rd. This is awesome a race so far. We're just about to finish the 9th lap, so there's 2 laps to go. Can I keep hold of 3rd place? This is looking a great race so far. I've kept it clean, I've kept it consistent. I've had a couple of minor wobbles, but with 3 places up, come on. And that'll probably be a bit slower lap as I had to race. Yeah, not bad though time, considering I was battling with 2 drivers there in that lap. 2:44.7. So the Templar, who's dropped down to 5th now, will serve his penalty as we exit through Eau Rouge and Radion. So I'm not going to discount him though. He was obviously faster than I was. He'd pulled away. The only reason I caught him probably because he was battling with Lahadi, who was equally faster than me. But are we seeing signs of his tyres dropping off? Is that why the Green Templar was able to catch him? As indeed they're obviously not, because he's just got round me. Better exit through there, and as we lap 16th place. So he's just got a better exit and a toe down there. He's got me into there, which I'm happy with that. I'm not happy with it, but you know, I'm going to let him go. I'm not going to fight it, because I can maybe get him back somewhere else. The main thing is I haven't lost any major places through any spins or going off at all. Now there you go, the Green Templar in 5th has just lapped 16th as well. He's got rid of his penalty, so we might see him catching me up as I'm slowed down behind Lahadi, who I think is obviously struggling for grip in some of these corners. Am I going to be able to find a way past? You know, he got past me, but I'm sticking with him. I think he's struggling for grip. I've got to say maybe, possibly. There we go. There is much more grip to be had here. Obviously I've got a... Ooh, there he's finding that limit of that. He's really finding the limits of his tyres there, and sure enough the Green Tempo's right caught up with us as well. This is a great battle for 3rd. I really hope the Green Tempo doesn't spoil it for any of us again by running into the back of us, and I'm trying my hardest not to do that too, while at the same time beeping it on the track as Lahadi just drifts a little wide over the curbs. So hopefully maybe get a bit of a toe up here. You can see 2 tenths and 3 tenths behind me, the gap. We're all, as we come up to one of the hardest braking zones of the lap. So gap spread a little bit. Now here we go. Oh, that bumpy sound was a hit. He collided with the back of me. That pushed me into the back of Lahadi, who's been reset on the track in 5th. No way. And what? I've got a second penalty, a 1 second penalty. Now that implies that I was given a penalty for colliding with Lahadi, but where's the Green Templar's penalty for colliding with me? Which was the only reason I collided. Oh man. Now, I remember being really angry in the race at that, and obviously that's now distracted me through a source. Oh man. Calm down. Calm down. So I went wide into the source there, which gave him both of them a chance to get through. And driving with a bit of anger in my head. I've got to serve this stupid penalty. Damn it! God damn it! That's really annoyed me now, but I've got to try and consolidate. We've got 18 points back to 6, so hopefully, as I come through to like 15th place, hopefully, please, that's not going to be the... I've got to calm down now. I've got to calm down this lap. It's the last lap. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to undo all this hard work. Yes, I was fighting for 3rd. Lahadi had gone deep with his lack of grip into the bus stop chicane, and I was all set to overtake him when I got nudged in the back and smacked into him. And I was one with the penalty. That's unbelievable. I can feel myself getting wound up now, even a day later doing the commentary for this race. Please, please, please let me know your thoughts on that. You heard the impact from the Green Templar, which unfortunately pushed me into Lahadi, and I come off worse through a penalty and through a little lapse of concentration, with my anger getting the better of me there. So it looks like it's going to be 5th, unfortunately. It's not a bad result, but when I was so close to taking 3rd, as Lahadi has a little half a second penalty, which he's going to be unable to serve because the penalty's on the next lap. There isn't the next lap. Now maybe he's got a tiny bit of frustration in him for the Green Temper's actions. I'd love to hear your thoughts below, please. I don't see what else I could have done differently there. I got nicely on the apex in the bus stop and was hopefully going to get past the the French Lahadi man who just lost a little bit of grip and gone deep into it. But here we go, we're finishing the race, this time cleanly. That puts the Green Templar unfortunately in third. Lahadi man very fairly really in fourth, but me disappointing fifth after that race, a disappointing fifth, despite me being up on my starting position. Overall a great race, really good race, I really enjoyed it. Disappointing penultimate bus stop corner in the lap 10, but I really hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know your thoughts on that collision and contact, and 17 points earned for the championship. Great stuff. See you next time. Thanks very much for watching. Look out for the Nations Cup round 18.